Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Brockopp side. Today we got ourselves a Blu-ray review of Spider-Man Far From Home in glorious 4K. So yeah, about a little under a week since Sony and Marvel finally came back to an agreement of keeping Spider-Man in the MCU for at least 2 more movies, Far From Home is now available in all home video formats, so you can go back to properly enjoying this movie and not being completely depressed that's the last time you're gonna see him in the MCU, because we have at least 2 more movies left. But anywho, so as you can see here, I got myself the regular old 4K Ultra HD edition. I didn't pick up the Steelbook or anything, because well, when I got to Best Buy they were completely out of the Steelbooks, and also those Steelbooks really, didn't look all that good. But anyway, so you got this really cool slipcover, which is a very simple design with Spider-Man showing the stealth suit and his new black and red suit, with a couple little things here and there, like a little teeny tiny little Mysterio in the corner there. And this cover art was actually done by Boss Logic, a very talented graphic designer. If you don't know who Boss Logic is, chances are you've seen some of his work around. And I really like this cover. Some people have some issues with it, but I really like the simplicity of it, because I feel like with a lot of the posters for this movie, they were trying way too hard to just cram as much stuff into it as they possibly could. And then on the back side, you got this little image of Peter Parker looking at the Iron Man mural. Really cool. And something else that's kind of interesting is that on the spine, they're now showing the PG-13 rating, which is kind of interesting. They've never done that before, so I'm not sure if that's going to be like a new thing, but honestly, I think it kind of does make sense to have the rating on the spine like that, so that way you know what you're gonna get into when you pull it off the shelf and be like, oh, okay, slightly violent, that's good. So anyway, if we just take off the slipcover here, so as you can see, the slipcover art and the cover art are completely different, which is really cool, and this is just the generic design they use on like the Blu-ray and the DVD and such. So, and this one's, it's okay, but I just really like how this one looks a lot better. So then, of course, you got your 4K disc and your Blu-ray disc, and I actually really like how it shows 2 different Spider-Man suits, the Iron Spider and the Stealth suit, and I think the blue color scheme on the Blu-ray is actually quite appropriate, so that's really, really cool. And of course, here's the digital download copy code of Gets It First Can Have It. Enjoy yourself, and because if you don't, well, that's a real bummer, I guess. So before we go any further, I'll tell my thoughts on the movie itself. Now, I actually did do a review of this movie when it came out back in July. I did both a non-spoiler and a spoiler-filled review, so if you want my complete thoughts on the movie, then go check out those videos up above. But anyway, I really liked Spider-Man Far From Home. I think it took what was good about the first movie and some of the problems with it and improved upon and just made it even better. I think this is probably one of, if not the strongest Spider-Man movies we've gotten. Of course, Tom Holland's great, that new black and red suit is fantastic, Jake Gyllenhaal is great as Mysterio, and the fact that we finally got to see J.K. Simmons come back as Jameson, that's probably my absolute favorite thing about the movie. And I'm really glad we are going to get a 3rd movie within the MCU, so we can see that cliffhanger where Mysterio reveals Spider-Man's identity to the world. We can see that play out, see that hopefully get resolved, so I'm really glad about that. But yeah, Spider-Man Far From Home, I really, really enjoyed it. And of course, picture and sound quality, the movie looks really great in 4K, just lots of nice detail, within like the fibers of the suit and stuff. And of course, it's 4K, so you get the richer colors and the deeper blacks and all that goodness, but with Spider-Man stuff. And as far as the bonus content goes, unfortunately, like a lot of bonus content, most of it's nothing special, tiny little featurettes and things like that. But one of the very interesting things is that it comes with an all-new short film, Peter's To-Do List, which was this little montage of scenes where Peter was getting ready for the trip, then he had a little fight scene in a Chinese restaurant. And for those of you that don't know, that was actually used in the extended cut for Far From Home that was released over Labor Day weekend, which I actually did pay a ticket to go see the extended cut, but then the theater ended up just playing the theatrical all over again, so I didn't get to see it. So getting to have it here on the Blu-ray is really nice, because it was a really nice montage montage of scenes, and I really wish they would have kept it within the movie, because the movie's not that long to begin with, so like an extra 4 minutes or whatever, it really wouldn't have done anything horrible to the pacing, I don't think. So, but this is really cool, so this was definitely probably my favorite thing to check out. And of course, there's a blooper reel, which is really fun to watch, seeing Tom Holland and Jake Gyllenhaal. They just have this really great chemistry together. You can really tell in between takes and stuff, so that much is really cool. So, yeah, I mean, bonus content, aside from that, you know, nothing too spectacular, just your typical run-of-the-mill stuff. It's like 5-6 minute featurettes that just feel like they stop way too soon and things like that. There's a couple more like kind of gag type things in there, like teachers travel tips, which is really just taking some deleted scene footage with these really crappy graphics and calling it a new featurette, so that's a little bit of a letdown, but unfortunately subpar bonus features are kind of the norm nowadays. So, but anyway, I'm really glad to have Spider-Man Far From Home on Blu-ray now, so now we have 2/3 of this Spider-Man trilogy done, and we're actually going to get a third movie, which is really, really cool. I can't wait to see what they do with Spider-Man 3, the new Spider-Man 3, and yeah, I just look forward to being able to watch this movie whenever I want now, because that's the whole point of home media. So, those are my thoughts on Spider-Man Far From Home on 4K. But anyway, if you guys have picked up this movie, or if you've at least seen the film, or if you're hoping J.K. Simmons plays a much bigger role in the next movie because now he's back as Jameson, and if they keep him to just a simple cameo in the next movie, I'm going to be very upset. Comment that down below, and we'll see you on the Brockopp. Oh god, okay, oh god, okay, no, okay, no, alright, this totally went downhill incredibly fast.